Hi, it's 975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox One and, well, Xbox Series X, I should say. I keep forgetting I've got the new upgraded Xbox. It's really weird because I haven't really got any exclusive titles for it, but it does just make this game run in 60 frames, so I should remember it because it's really nice having 60 frames on this game. It's like feels like CQC but everywhere. So after my trip away into the black, you can guarantee when I got back, there was one thing I could hear being said in my head.
I am to misbehave.
And I immediately started to misbehave. This anaconda that I scanned looked for a fight, and I thought, well, you know, I might as well. I'm in a pirate ship. It's a very weak bi-weave pirate ship, but I'm not going to take being shot at, like, lightly. Unfortunately, the message saying no cargo free to go didn't go through because of the person's privacy settings, which is a bit of a pain. It happens quite a lot when we're pirating. But when another lawful drops in to shoot me in the butt, you know, there's not a lot I can do. I can't fight two of them in a pirate ship. I've got a 600 shield bi-weave on this thing. Though admittedly, I do engage what it's known for. No one is catching me in this pirate ship. Definitely not. This speed is with full cargo hold. You should see what it does when the cargo hold is empty. It's hilarious. And you can be nicely passive aggressive in this ship because it is way too fast. And anyone that's faster is going to be way weaker than this thing is. So yeah, I'm very chuffed with my build on this. It took going all the way to Clagonia again to do the final pieces of it, but you know, I'm happy with the way it turned out. Few people are going to fly a ship as nuts as this one. It is a little bit paper thin, but you know, when you got this much speed, you can always get away. And yeah, I wouldn't have minded fighting that anaconda, but I can't take on, you know, too many people at once. So back to the carrier it is, even though I didn't mess up plotting my route. And I'll go and get something a little more spicy. It's always typical when you grab a combat ship and come back, the person you want to hunt down and kill has gone off, and all you see is piracy targets. But you know, you can only aim to misbehave. You can't guarantee that the other people are going to let you misbehave. But I had a great time at the CG pirating, and few people know the joy that piracy brings to me. It is truly the thrill of the chase, the enjoyment of just the piracy.
Never dies, I'll be the lucky ones!
I mean, it's almost indescribable because, I mean, I've got millions of credits, billions of credits, multiple billions of credits. I'm ludicrously rich in this game, but I still get an absolute joy out of seeing cargo tumble out of a ship. Like, even if it's just a little bit of cargo, it just makes me feel like on top of the world. It is definitely a moment to be savoured, and it's all the sweeter when it's someone you know and party up with and wing up with sometimes, so it's quite fun. You know, there's no discrimination when it comes to us and piracy. We will pirate you, regardless. As you can see, I'm pirating with some notorious Dark Marauders in this instance. And, yeah, Attack Panda, me, Orc, all got together, had some fun pirating people down at the CG. I winged up with loads of people down at the CG, fought against a load of people down at the CG, had fun winging up with TOC, had fun winging up with the gentleman I'm robbing here to do a bit of piracy with him. Later on, so you know, it worked out really well. I completed the community goal just based on stolen cargo, and yeah, did really well out of it. So, the amount of money to be earned at this CG from actually trawling Tritium was ridiculous, but a fair few people abandoned some for me, which was lovely because the profit on that was really nice. And it's nice to complete a CG without actually having to legally buy anything and just rob it from people. That's part of the joy of being a space pirate and a criminal. You can have fun, rob stuff, and make profit out of it. And me and Pirate Orc and Panda had fun at the CG. If you haven't seen Orc's video of the CG, I highly recommend it. It's really hilarious. He's packed it full of memes and silly stuff. It's great. I highly recommend that video. I think I'll link it in the description of this one. But we had fun. We did piracy. We did combat. This guy kind of panicked. He saw us at the start, realised that we were moving into interdictive. He hadn't actually spotted the cutter, but just as I messaged him to to say that we're going to pirate him, he disappeared, which is a bit of a shame. But I'll actually come back to that later, because I messaged him and he did actually reply. So I found out what happened to our mysterious man there. But, you know, I'm not worried about commanders not wanting to be pirated, because there's plenty of commanders that find it fun and think it's entertaining. And if you don't enjoy it, you don't think it's entertaining, you don't like the excitement of it, you can always play in PG. You know, it's safe from player interaction in PG, and you know, or solo. There's 2 modes where you aren't going to be attacked by other players. There's 1 mode where you are going to be attacked by other players. So, you know, it's totally up to you what you choose to do. As this guy, he was a bounty hunter. He got messaged with "Die bounty hunter, die." We are pirates. We do target people with kill warrant scanners. It was basically something brought in to keep our PvPers happy, or the people who prefer to be PvP over piracy happy. So they had something to target, some legitimate reason to kill people, because we've always had in our rules, you can't kill a person without a reason. Now, we have also included in there that the paint job isn't a good enough reason after one of our members pushed the limits and the boundaries of good taste on murder. But we do tend to kill for power play reasons. We kill bounty hunters if they have kill warrant scanners. We sometimes are nice and just message them and say, like, you got a kill warrant scanner, remove that or get out of the system, or we'll kill you before doing it. But, you know, we kill for power play, we kill for role play reasons, but mostly we like to pirate. And if we're pirating you, you won't get killed. But if we send you a message saying "Die imp, die," you better get quick on that waking out. But our fun and shenanigans was not going to go unnoticed. You know, people were going to pay attention to what we were up to. Always happens when we're having fun at the CG, doing what we want to do, which is piracy, a little bit of murder, and have some fun. There's always going to be someone who comes along and tries to have their fun. In this case, it was a donut eater. While I was typing back to the guy who slipped into private group, I got interdicted by a donut eater, a member of the cult of the PvP Sweats, Ragnar Scott, which I didn't know he'd gone on to be the cult of the PvP Sweats. Last time I heard, he was still leader of Jedi. But I take it he's finally given up on that. Whatever it was that he tried to create with Jedi, the most creative name of a squadron ever, and is now in the cult of the PvP Sweats, which is interesting. But, you know, he interdicted me. I had no intention of fighting him in this ship. It's a pirate ship. It's got 500 odd shields. Panda dropped in to harass him a little bit. I gave him 1 ram and then disappeared off. It's time to go back to the carrier and get something else. People get confused as to why I run away so often, but pirate ships are not for fighting people in. Any sustained combat in a pirate ship is going to go badly. You know, you've got enough weaponry to take on a trader, because that's what you're looking to take on. You're not looking to take on meta FDL boy or super sweaty PvPer. I mean, who wants to take those guys on anyway? It's, you know, not a fight I ever look to have. But I will come back in a combat ship, do my best to drive them out of the system, usually using some cheese they don't like me using that they complain about. In this case, it's gimbaled phasing, which means this is now probably one of the dullest fights you're likely to see, because gimbaled phasing, and all gimbaled phasing Mamba maneuvers like a brick. It's just point and click, which is great for me because I'm really bad at PvP, but it doesn't create the fun, exciting PvP videos that people like, of flight assist off, spinning around, blah blah blah. No, I'm very functional when it comes to my PvP. Use something to drive the opponent out of system. In this case, I'm not even worried about doing that, because there's 3 of us, only 1 of him, and he dragged some poor soul in as well to help him out. Guy turned up in a courier with like 280 health and saw 2 Mambas with phasing. Not the best situation in the world. Oh, and a Corvette with phasing. It was not a good idea, not a good choice of ship. But he didn't know what he was getting into, because Ragnar Scott didn't actually tell him, just winged up with him and dragged him in it. So, and then left him to die. I mean, not that nice. At least give your wingmate the warning, let him get out first. But yeah, so like I say, this was a very dull fight, because it's 3-on-2 and we're in the more, well, there's 3 of us. We're using a lot of phasing. It's not exactly the most exciting fight in the world. Panda loves his Mamba, it's great for him. But I'm going to skip out a lot of this fight because it is really dull.
Several bad puns later.
Yeah, it's still going on. It didn't take too long to whittle his hull down, but, you know, it's not the most exciting thing to watch. As to this community goal, while the 2 community goals were running, while we had trade and bounty hunting, it was really good to see this many players on. It was really lively, there was loads of players on. I did notice, the night I'm recording this video, there was virtually no one on because there was, like, I flicked across to see how many people were on because I was watching some stuff on Disney and I was like, oh, if there's loads of people on, I'll go on. Had a look, there was literally like 2 or 3 people off my friends list on, and I was like, okay, I'll watch some TV instead. I think we are going to have to relish those times when there's lots of people on because they're going to become rarer and rarer, and it is nice to see a load of people on when there are a load of people on. It's great. The game is, I play the game for the player interaction, so it's great when there's loads of players on. It's not so great when there's lots, you know, not many people about. There are a few people that I could quite happily lose to PC. I think they all know who they are, and I would quite happily wave goodbye and carry on playing the console version, not having to deal with them anymore. You know, there's not many people on that list, but there are a few people out there. And, you know, would it dishearten me that the Xbox environment would be quiet without them? No, because they're not worth the hassle. But all in all, this was a fun night. Ragnar Scott, to be fair to him, left his wingmate to die and made his escape on 4%. We did go after him. I tried to interdict him twice, but I failed both times. Panda did manage to interdict him, and when he low-waked on Panda, he never popped back into the same supercruise as me, so we effectively lost him as he de-instanced. Still, job done. We chased him away. We could get back our pirate ships and continue to do what we wanted to do in the first place, which was pirate people and have some fun. And it is lovely to see the cops running away from the bad guys.
That makes a refreshing change.